sleepy time rock in A. Or something of that nature. What's going on, people? It's Sean Pierce Johnson here, back from the islands, back from the brink, so to speak. Holy crap. Oh my god, am I tired. As the title suggests, this is SPJ Live, episode 24, the one with the red-eye flight, no sleep, stupor. And that's exactly what you experienced just now. Oh my god, what a long day. It has been an absolute time. I am finally home. We are back here in the studio. We're doing the thing. You guys are here. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. But first, let's see who's decided to join us in the return. Hope you all had an awesome week. We'll talk a little bit about mine as the show goes on. It's going to kind of come into play a little bit here. The whole red eye stupor deal. Ben Coombs in the house, of course. The one and only. Got you there, buddy. My blue-wrenched friend, moderator to the stars, who eventually will be charging people for his moderating services. I guarantee it. You should be doing that, Ben. One of these days, you will. Music Therapy Laz is here in the house. Laz, thank you so much for joining in for a live show. It's a pleasure to have you here. Terry Himes is in the house. Terry, welcome to the show. Glad to have you aboard. Todd Flowers has joined in the conversation. Todd, it's good to see you here for a live show, my friend. Keep on cruising, keep on cruising, keep on cruising. And just when I thought it was safe to go back on YouTube Live, he shows himself. It's the Q-Man, the quartermaster of trouble himself, Mr. Quentin James. Quentin, hope things are going well, buddy. It's been a while since I've been able to keep up with the latest goings on, but I certainly hope you are doing well. I'm just starting to get my feels back into normal life. DJ 7-string guitar in the house, Darren is his name, and loaning me Earthquaker Devices pedals is part of his game. Good to have you here for a live show, my friend. Looks like you got some vacation time. Vacation time is always a good time. And no, Quentin, I did not fall asleep, although it's quite possible that sometime during this broadcast, I might fall asleep. Matt Cisterna in the house, who is on the bus back from seeing Tame Impala. How awesome. Hope you enjoyed the show, buddy. Jay Steen has joined us. Jay, always a pleasure to see you here. And it looks like... And then we got Amanda Coombs in the house. Boys, keep it clean. I know she's used to it. But let's be gentlemanly, why don't we? Or not, that's who am I to judge? Oh, boy. Today's playing has been brought to you by big, slow open chords. Lots of echo, plenty of reverb, and a little light distortion. Brought to you by the Rev G3 pedal. We have a new viewer in the house, Shred Before Dead. I cannot shred, and nor will I attempt to on my stupor as of moment. I will attempt to entertain you, and hopefully it works out. Mickey Settlemeyer joining in. Mickey, good to see you, my friend. We don't happen to have a line on our fantasy friend, Mr. Aaron Lee Albus Band, do we? Because I got something to show that he might be interested in. Oh, boy. Guys, I am dogging it, to quote Ben Stiller from Heavyweights. I am dogging it today. So, for those of you who tuned in the last time we did this, which had to be rescheduled because of things before traveling, I just got home from going to the beautiful island of Oahu, of course, part of the state of Hawaii in the United States, the Hawaiian Islands and all that good stuff. Because my drummer, one of my best friends in the entire world, got married over the weekend, and yours truly was part of the groom's party. And I got to dress up in a nice 3-piece tux, even though I really only wore 2 pieces. Wore a vest, wore the pants, wore the shoes. That's technically 4 pieces right there, if you think about it, if you want to. But it was very lovely. It was a really nice ceremony. I adore him and his wife together, his new wife, as a matter of fact. They are absolutely great together, and I am very happy for one of my best friends in the entire world. It's always great when your friends are finally get their happiness, you know? But it was really nice. They got married at, Pinkies Up, the Four Seasons, in the Ko'olina Resort area of Oahu. I've actually stayed there a couple times next door to the Four Seasons at the Aulani Resort, the Disney Resort, which is a fantastic hotel. Very well done. Fantastic place to stay. Bit expensive, but when your parents want to take you and your wife on a nice vacation, don't say no. If they want to treat you, it's very, very nice, and I had a lovely, lovely time. And Janice has joined us. Janice, it's good to have you here at the beginning of the live show. I know a couple times recently you haven't been able to get in until later, but here we are, right at the beginning. Good to have you here. So, yeah, it turned out really well. Originally, they were going to get married on a lawn, just on the property of the Four Seasons. But it turned out that last minute, which good news for them, bad news for somebody else probably, the wedding chapel miraculously at the last minute opened up, which is great because they needed a contingency plan because there was potential for rain on the wedding day. And it actually did rain a little earlier in the day, and whew, boy, it was stunning. It really was. It was a beautiful ceremony. They are great together. I hope to God and pray that they will be one of the good ones, and I have a good feeling that they will be one of the good ones that stand the test of time. The weird thing with people my age and their relationships is that they're very finicky about it all, you know? They don't often fully understand the level of which you have to enter into things seriously, if you ask me. DJ, I for one am glad to be home. The tropical climate was not the best thing for me a lot of the days. Just, kind of being in and amongst it, and just like you're standing in the middle of nowhere. You're just standing in like, even a lot of the hotels, because a lot of the hotels that I was in this weekend, they're like half indoor and they're half outdoor. And so you're just like, sometimes you're just standing there and you're just sweating your balls off. And it was not comfortable to be sweating one's balls off in a tux. Thank God I didn't have to wear the jacket. But it turned out very nice. He said some beautiful things. My wife read a Pablo Neruda poem for the ceremony, which was really cool. They did the whole best lady man of honor thing. And the man of honor is kind of a whiskey and a scotch nerd. And so he introduced me to a really nice Japanese whiskey at the rehearsal dinner, which was really, really good. Definitely didn't have some of that. Like, if you're not really a fan of whiskeys, and I know quite a few people these days that aren't a fan of whiskeys for some reason, it didn't have that kind of like lingering burn. And when you take that initial sniff of it, when it's neat in the glass, and those esters and those vapors just kind of assault your nostrils, it didn't have that. It was just, man, it was so smooth and it was so nice. And it was like, oh, gotta get some of that for myself. And of course, I also bought beer while I was there. I always like to, when I go different places that I've either been to before or haven't been to in a while, I always try to find something like decently local, especially in the craft beer world. It's always so cool to, discover new breweries and things like that. But I ended up coming across, Kona Brewing Company is out there, and they do fine stuff. There's nothing wrong with what they do. It's just that, well, they're a subsidiary of Anheuser, so I don't often buy their stuff. So I found they had, I believe it, I have 2 bottles of it that made it back home with me. I believe it's Hanalei, and it's a POG IPA. And for those of you who don't know what POG is, and no, not the bottle, the milk cap things that you hit with the slammers back in the 90s, for all those 90s kids out there watching. Although, ironically, they sell POG juice, and the font used on the POG juice bottles is the same font as the POG toys. Go figure. It's passion fruit, orange, and guava juice mixed together, and it's really good, and it's very popular in Hawaii. And they did an IPA with passion fruit, orange, and guava, and hot damn was it good. And then, of course, one of my favorite breweries from that region is Maui Brewing Company. They make the unbelievably delicious coconut porter. Fantastic porter. One of the best out there. If you haven't tried it and you find it, it comes in a 6-pack of cans. Oh, that's some good shit right there. think I've been seeing a couple new people showing up. Charlie S is here. Charlie, it's good to have you here, my friend. I'm like all kinds of all over the place with my head tonight, trying to keep track of everything. Shred Before Dead. You have the G3 pedal. Oh, the one that I'm using is the G2, actually. I don't have the G3. I've played both the G3 and the G4. They both sound great. I switched up the settings just now from what I had at the top of the video, but I had the aggression switch in the down position for the more kind of compressed gain on the G2. And then I basically had the gain cranked and kind of adjusting the EQ to taste to work with the amplifier, the Rock Reverb 100. So I had a little bit more bass than normal. I'm cutting the mids quite a bit because this particular amplifier has a hefty, nice mid-range presence to it, and then giving it a good goose of treble for a little bit of extra detail. But now I'm in the middle position, and that's kind of like a more open, less clipping to the sound. So with the guitar knob, volume knob all the way up, the volume and the gain are both around 11 o'clock. Bass is just a hair under 12, mid's a hair over 12, and then treble is at like 2 o'clock. Here's the clean. Then add it on. So yeah, sounding really good. I really like this pedal. It's definitely one of those crunchy, low gain amp in a box pedals are always difficult because they're not that great 9 times out of 10. But this one's really great. I like it a lot. Daniel Lou in the house. Daniel Lou, welcome to the show, my friend. You have a question, and I'm going to answer. Are you using the Rock Reverb or an amp emulator? Tonight, it is the Rock Reverb. However, you are hearing some sort of emulation because it's running into the Boss Waza tube amp expander, and I have a whole cabinet set up and whatnot that I have loaded in there and saved as like my custom rig. And that's also where the reverb and the delay are coming from. It's coming from the TAE. Oh yeah, that's good. DJ, go in on that OR100. That OR100 is a fantastic amplifier. I think that's one of those. I've been trying to talk to the guys at Orange about doing some more videos this year, and there's a good chance that that's going to happen. We have a pretty solid relationship. But I really want to delve into the ones that I feel like are underserved and underplayed, and the OR100 is definitely one of them. It's not a new amplifier by any means. But I feel like it needs a little bit more love. Matt is asking about overdrive pedals in the low to medium gain category. I mean, I'm playing this Rev G2 and I'm finding it to be really sweet. Oh, wait, are we talking about, Charlie, the Blue Sky, you're looking for cheap? I'm thinking Strymon, but there is a cheap overdrive pedal floating around out in space somewhere that I believe is called Blue Sky. But Matt, personally, when it comes to like the low to medium gain thing, I mean, I've always been a big advocate for the Matthews Architect V3. It works for me, and I think it sounds really good. One other one I might recommend, and It's probably going to be a little bit more than you need, but the Keeley DDR drives are fantastic, as is the drives that are on the Keeley Aria. And plus, you get some extra stuff with it in a cool little package, so it's a little bit more versatile. I did, a couple weeks ago, play the Nux Horseman for the first time, which is Nux's take on the gold and silver Klon Centaur pedals, and I really liked that. I was very impressed with it. So we will be getting one of those in. I know that for a fact. That should be arriving tomorrow. So there will be a demo coming up. But yeah. But yeah, time to get back to reality from vacation and time to get back to work and do all that good stuff. Had a lot of fun. It was a good time. But God, I flew out of Honolulu last night at like 9. Got into Phoenix at like 5. Flew out of Phoenix to Ontario at 7:30. Got back to Ontario at like 9 and got home around 10:30. And I don't sleep well on planes, especially when they're completely packed, so it was not a good day for me. It was long. It was long. Phil Mosley Music. What's going on, Phil? Thanks for joining in. I did bring back souvenirs, though. Now, when I travel to Hawaii, there's one thing I want to bring back other than beer, and that's coffee. Would you guys believe me if I told you that these 2 bags of coffee, between the 2 of them, this is like $100 worth of coffee? I wish that I could get like real-time reactions from you guys about this as I as I show you this stuff, because I kind of want to see the reactions before I actually like move on and talk about it. Oh. And this iced tea is really good. There we go. Ben has the reaction I was looking for. Yeah, man. Between this 1 pound and this 8 ounces, that's like over $100 worth of coffee. This one's like 70. This one's 35. Ugh, man. It's crazy. Jasco Plumbing Supply coming in right before we have coffee talk. Good to have you, Jasco. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, Charlie, this shit ain't no Folgers, that's for sure. This is like life-changing coffee right here. It's from a coffee chain, small coffee chain called Island Vintage. And it's 100% Kona grown, single origin coffee beans. But what makes this thing so damn special is and so expensive is it's 1 pound. And 1 pound of Kona coffee would probably be enough. But what makes this even more special is the fact that this is pea berry coffee. And that's pea as in the vegetable, not pea as in taking a number 1, people. Just putting that out there. But basically what happens is when the coffee tree grows and the cherries fruit, Usually the beans, the coffee beans, are inside the coffee cherries, so to speak. You usually yield 2 to 4 beans per cherry. Depends. It's not always a hard and fast thing. But when it's pea berry, it means that there's 1 coffee bean to the coffee cherry. So what you end up getting is that it is a much smoother cup. The acidity is very much reduced. The fact that, well, Kona Coffee already has a reputation of being amongst some of the best in the world. This is 100%. Usually anytime you buy Kona Coffee or Kona Blend in the grocery store, you're usually getting about 10% coffee actually grown and harvested from Kona, Hawaii. The rest of it just coming from Latin America and other various sources. And those are good. Don't get me wrong. They're still very good. But this is like the real ish right here. And this coffee I had for the first time 5 years ago. And I had already liked coffee. And I already kind of loved coffee at that point. This shit was life-changing. Like, life-changing. And since I haven't had it in 4 years, I figured, as Doc Brown said, what the hell? Bring home a nice big bag and enjoy that for quite some time. And boom. Yo, I don't give a shit about the calendar. I was out of town. God damn calendar people. And then mocha. These beans are a little smaller, often referred to as the champagne of coffee. It's great shit. Absolutely love this stuff. Nothing like getting coffee in Hawaii. Fine. You guys want the calendar change? Fine. God. There. Now that it's time to get back to work, the calendar has changed. Damn. Can't a brother just be tired? God. I guess not. Let's do something a little different here. My playing is not the best because I haven't actually picked up a guitar in a week. I didn't bring one with me. I knew with everything going on, I would not have time to even bother picking it up. DJ, I didn't take the tour this time because I've already done it once before, and it pretty much there you see it once, you've seen it. But I did stop by and get some pineapple candies. Daniel Liu, the pickups in the Navigator are McNelly pickups. I don't remember the exact models. But they will be the same pickups going into my soon to be completed, I believe, custom Navigator. DJ, what is Adam using this go around? The guitar sounds that I've heard so far on, I think it was Numa that I listened to, and Fear Inoculum, very different from 10,000 Days. Like 10,000 Days was like really percussive, kind of aggressive, but really like meaty at the same time. This felt a little bit like warmer. But I haven't had, the album came out while I was gone officially, so I haven't even had time to listen to the whole thing. I could honestly play this whole show with my eyes shut right now. VH4 Marshall Super Bass with Bogner, Ubershaw, Rivera, Knucklehead, and K Trey. Those Riveras were quite they weren't really popular, but they had a lot of buzz. I know the models that you're talking about, and I remember those ones having quite a lot of buzz. Isn't one of those the, I could be totally wrong, but isn't one of those the Mick Thompson amplifier? I know that both he and Jim Root did use the Knucklehead. I do remember them doing that, but I think it was only Mick that got a signature model based off that. Daniel Liu, nice delay sound. Do you think it helps getting those tones because you're using a G2 switcher? Actually, right now, I'm not using the G2 at all. It's just a couple pedals into the front end of the amplifier. You know, it's a tuner. It's the Rev G2 pedal for just a little bit of a different vibe in the gain sound. It's the clean tone. It's the dirty channel of the rock reverb. All the delay is coming from the tube amp expander. The reverb's coming from the tube amp expander. But I feel like getting it all from the tube amp expander just allows the effects to be completely separated from the amplifier. I'm not routing anything into the effects loop, so the amp is just acting like an amp. That's all that it's doing. And that's really all that I want it to do. And that's one of my favorite things about having the TAE in the workflow is the fact that those effects, the delay, the reverb, and even the EQ, the post amplifier EQ, and even, you know, you can add on like a studio style compressor to it. All of that is completely separate from your amplifier. You don't have to, you know, do a whole lot of trickery. It's just right there, ready to go. It's all separate from the amplifier. The audio from the amplifier, everything that's producing your tone from the preamp and the power amp section of things, that all happens separately. All the effects just happen within the TAE. The two parts are completely separate, but they're each contributing something. And I feel like having that clear separation between the two units doing their jobs individually, finally being brought together and then into your ears, is part of what makes it so good. You know, the reverb, and we'll get into this when I do the videos for it. So the plan for the TAE videos is I'm going to do 2 at the present moment. I'm going to do 1 purely centered around how to use the hardware, using it like you're basically, you know, just getting it, plugging it in for the first time, and the various ways that you can connect it to your amplifier or to your, you know, recording setup. Then the second video is going to be purely dedicated towards showing you what you can do in depth with the editor software. And when you hook up the editor software, that just opens up, you know, a whole swath of different ideas and different things that you can do with it. So that's kind of the current plan right now. And hopefully I'll be able to address a lot of those questions and whatnot when that video comes up. Oh, thank you, Daniel. That means a lot. If it sounds like a pro recording to you, that's great. Ah, hey, Socks. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining in for a little bit. Matt, it's your birthday? Happy birthday. Don't memorize how to play that song ever. But happy birthday. Enjoy it. If that's what you were doing. Going to see Tame Impala for your birthday, that's pretty cool. Socks, that's an interesting question. And these are the kind of questions that I hope to get more of the more we do these live shows and we start talking about some of this stuff. So let's check it out. I'm not sure if you like Muse or not, but have you heard about Matt Bellamy becoming a majority shareholder and helping run Manson Guitars? Do you have any hopes or thoughts about this? As far as hopes, I don't really have many hopes. I think, as far as I know, Manson was doing okay, I guess. But I know that those are the guitars for Matt Bellamy. And that's what he likes, and that's what he wants to play. And if he feels like becoming a majority shareholder is only going to help Manson keep making the guitars that he loves and might help expose the brand to other players around the world, I only know of one dealer in the entirety of California. And for a company that wants to sustain itself, you need to have multiple outlets of being able to get your instruments to the end user, to the player, to the customer. So if having, some financial backing from Matt Bellamy helps them grow as a business, that's great. If it gives them a little bit more exposure, fantastic. We need healthy companies in the gear world in order to keep, the whole train rolling. So I wish them all the best. I most likely will not be playing their guitars anytime soon, just because when I do see them at the one particular dealer that I know of, they're usually spoken for by the time that I get to play them. So I think it's a good idea, and I think it's a better idea than some other guys have had of starting their own brand. This is sort of Matt investing in the people of Manson and not investing in himself to be like the front runner. Chapman has been around for almost 10 years and they've been doing great, but I feel like they really hit on a cool concept that worked and was new, and still to this day, through the exposure that Chapman has through Rob, through Andertons, through Rabia, it works out really well. And the guitars are pretty damn good too. That always helps. I know Solar, which is Ola Englund's brand, is still fairly young, but I hear a lot of good feedback about those. Hopefully we'll be able to play some in the near future. I don't know. We'll just have to see. And then there's the whole Abasi thing going on, which just feels like, what's going on with that? There's all this buzz, and then all of a sudden it's radio silence. And then we have Wild Audio, which I don't get. I don't really know quite how to say it, and Ben is saying it right there. I've played the guitars. They play really good, but they don't look like guitars that everybody would want to play. So I'd be curious to know what their actual numbers are. And then not only that, there's apparently been it was apparently a company that Zach said was going to be everything. And so far I've seen guitars for sale. Oh, well. It's an interesting world right now. A lot of players think that they can turn their popularity into starting their own guitar brand, and very soon they realize that, business is not doing YouTube. Yeah, Ben, exactly. They're just Gibsons made in Korea with points added. I haven't tried the Court versions of Matt Bellamy's signature model, but I know that they are basically mass-produced versions of the Mansons. So I'm sure that if Matt Bellamy is going to put his name on something, he's going to make sure it's good. But I'm certain that Manson would want to make sure that the factories building this guitar for them would, be pretty good. Terry's asking if anyone's had experience with CMG guitars. I have not personally. Yeah, Matt, the Manson guitars are decently expensive, as far as I know. They're decently expensive. In collaboration with Schecter, no less. Yes. Yeah. Ben, look them up. They're kind of... You might actually like Matt's signature model. It's basically a Telly. Very nice stuff. I'm liking all this new stuff that's been coming in. We're going to be getting quite a few cool new things in coming up pretty soon. And we have a few things already that will need videos. So next week's going to be busy, but I'm going to need to recover from this trip. That's going to start tonight by going to bed early. And by early, before 2 a.m. Because let's face it, I'm here to fuck shit up. And that takes a lot of time. Sox is asking about our favorite fuzz pedals. He likes the DOD Carcosa. I have quite a few, actually, right now. Of course, like Matt, I like the Retrohead Toxic Fuzz, which, if you are interested in purchasing directly from me, and I will sign it and ship it to you anywhere in North America within reason, you can purchase one from me for a cool $200. can always just email me and we can set that up. But the Keeley Fuzz Bender, fantastic fuzz pedal. And I do still love the Op Amp Big Muff reissue. Daniel Liu, yes, the bass is a Warwick. It's actually a Warwick rock bass, so it's part of their Chinese-made line. But it is fantastic stuff. Really great. Shred Before Dead got a Thorpe Muff Room cloud rather than a Fallout cloud. I love that. Devi Ever stuff. That was some messed up fuzz pedal stuff. Matt, I had a Fuzz Factory for a while. Good long while, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I'm kind of in this mode right now with fuzz pedals of trying to figure out which one I'm actually going to end up using more often than not, because I have so many fuzz pedals. I have gotten so many fuzz pedals in this year to demo. It is kind of insane, actually. Man, but I love it. I love it a lot. Daniel Liu is asking if I still have the pedal baby and do I think it can receive line level signals like from an HX Stomp or a Helix. I do still have my pedal baby, and I don't really think I'm ever going to not have it, because there are certain situations that it really is the best option for using in a demo. As far as line level stuff, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I have heard inklings that there are guys out there that are running Kempers and Axe-Fx's into it. I could be completely wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I have heard of a couple people doing that exact thing. So I don't think it's gonna hurt. It would hurt, you know. It's good. It's simple. It's decently affordable. Comes with a gig bag, and I think sounds pretty damn good, personally. But that's just me. Ooh, some love from the way huge Javelina from Jay Steen. I do love me the Javelina, but I tend to love a lot of way huge stuff. It's hard to say whether or not George Trips has ever made a bad pedal. Personally, I do not think he has. There we go. DJ said Fluff demoed the pedal baby with a Helix. So there's your answer, Daniel Lou. Oh, it's all sounding so good. But guys, the reason I ask is I want to get one to use it that way. But since I can't demo it where I live, I haven't seen anybody demo it like that. Yeah, go check out Fluff's video then. If DJ says that he demoed it with a Helix, go listen to that. And if you think that it sounds pretty dang good, do the thing. Speaking of pedals, do you watch JHS's YouTube often? Yes, I do. I watch it every week. He released a video today on some cool oddball DoD pedals from the 90s that I think is right up a pedal lover's alley. Indeed. I love old DoD stuff. Kind of like my current vintage pedal obsessions at the moment are kind of Ibanez 10 series pedals, which thanks to the Session Man that I got a couple weeks ago is, man, it's just so cool. And I think the design aesthetic of the Ibanez pedals has always been really fun, but I love the silly Pac-Man knobs. They're so cool. So it kind of comes down to Ibanez 10 series pedals and DoD pedals are the ones that I would probably want to collect the most. If I did any other collection, it would just be, Boss pedals. But I have a thing for, like, still functional but pretty beat up Boss pedals. Like, this Super Phaser has quite a lot of kick around on it. It's not mint condition in any way, shape, or form. The Boss HM2 that I have, which was given to me by my good friend Jason McNamara, that is quite beat up as well. The other vintage Boss pedal that I have is the OC2, with the Octaver, not the Octave. There were two versions of it. The Octaver was earlier, was a lighter color brown, and it was Octaver OC2. The later version was darker brown, had a little bit more metal flake in it, and it was just Octave OC2. So I have the Octaver, and I've been using that forever. Yeah, I have had some of those tone lock pedals, Daniel Lou. I had the Ottawa for quite some time. I liked it a lot. Ended up selling it because I just wasn't using like envelope filters all that much. So, oh well. And I did come across a DE7 recently, and I was tempted, but I didn't take the plunge. But I do, another really cool design aesthetic for Ibanez. Great series, and you can still find them pretty cheap. Yeah, Todd, you bring up a point about that, but that happens a lot when anybody does videos. Guitar Magazine's got accused of driving up prices for older stuff for covering it. And it's like, well, you got to cover something, and it's all content. And, guys, at the end of the day, everything is all about perceived value in this stuff when it comes to vintage, which is one of the reasons you'll never see me drop, 4 figures for a Klon Centaur. It's a Klon Centaur. It's an overdrive. It's a good overdrive. Is it a great overdrive? No. Buy a clone. It's going to be a good overdrive. Whatever. Yeah, Daniel Lou. That's exactly why I wanted a Boss Super Phaser. Love that stuff. Matt, I don't have any experience with the XVive wireless systems. I don't really do XVive stuff anymore. They left a bad taste in my mouth after we were discussing possibly doing some videos, and it was very difficult to deal with them. So I won't be reviewing any of their stuff anymore. If you do want a wireless system that I actually like, and that I'll actually give my stamp of approval to. And I may or may not do a video of this for the channel. I don't really know. I did the product video for it, but it's the Carvin WG5 wireless system. And of course I drop it as I'm trying to hold it all nice and whatnot. But it's pretty simple, low profile. You know, this is the receiver, but the transmitter is identical to this. You charge it with a USB cable. It's decently affordable. It's no frills, but it works and it sounds good. Just do the thing. I like it a lot. You can order it from Carvin and they'll probably ship anywhere in the world. Yeah, Ben, for real. I'm looking at this like hour and 2 minutes. I was like, oh, I thought I'd be done by now. And I can start. I'm like seeing stars right now, which is weird. Yeah, Todd, that's definitely going to be the case, you know, with the BBE pedals and with anything. But, you know, it's something I've learned in the Funko collecting community, because I've started collecting the Funko Pops. I just like them. And something I've learned is that a lot of the exclusives, people get really hot on for, you know, 3 weeks when they first come out. But if you wait longer and you play the long waiting game, you'll probably get a deal like further on down the road, as people are like, you know, kind of coming to terms with the fact that they're not going to be able to sell things for as high a price as they might want. So that's that. But guys, it's that time. I'm losing it and I need to go to sleep. And 9 o'clock seems like a great time to go to sleep right now. I just want to say thank you to you guys for staying here for the whole hour with me, listening to me ramble, watch me like half fall asleep and talk about things. I wanted to make up for missing up last week and having to reschedule the week before I left. We will be back again, same bat time, same bat channel next week here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please do click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. There won't be a new demo video for Stompbox Saturday this week because, of course, I was out of town. Most likely there will not be one next week because I don't have any in the can to edit, but we'll see how the work week goes next week and if I can make something happen. So until next week, as normally I like to run down everybody that's here, but tonight I would like to go to sleep a little early, and I would appreciate your understanding in that. So to all of you watching, and especially to my moderator friend, Ben Coombs, always doing the good work and being a good brother, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm Sean Pierce Johnson. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Good night, my friends. I'm going the fuck to bed.